Okay guys, welcome to the third tutorial. So by this point you should have a really good understanding of some of the basic tools. So your basic drawing tools, your basic navigation tools, and some zoom in, zoom out tools. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to orbit around quickly. Now sometimes what students would like to do is create a shape or an architectural element and then move it from one place to another. Now to do that you'll need to use the move tool, but just watch carefully what happens with this drawing here. So if I try to click and move, say for example this house, I can't. Okay, what it does at the moment is it recognizes this three-dimensional shape as a selection of edges and surfaces. So it doesn't see that as one complete three-dimensional shape. In order to see it as a complete three-dimensional shape, you need to group it together. Let me show you. So here's my building. This is the extension that I'm going to add to my home. If I try to move this, I can't. I can only move a surface or an edge, none of which I want to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the select tool. I'm going to draw a rectangle around my shape just to make sure that all of the edges and the surfaces are selected. Then I'm going to go to edit and make group. Okay, now I can go to my move tool and I can move it around. Okay, now moving in SketchUp an object around in SketchUp can be quite difficult, especially when you're trying to marry or match together two different shapes. The easiest way to marry these together is to choose a surface, an edge or a corner and match it with a corresponding place on a second shape. So let me show you this with the pan tool. I'd like to add this extension onto this building. So I'm going to use my move tool. I'm going to move down to my corner. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag over and you'll see it snaps into place. So it naturally wants to marry up corners to corners. There we go, that's done. Now if I wanted to push pull on this extension, watch what happens now. I want to push something in there. See, that's not worked. The reason it's not worked is because that's a grouped shape, so that's sealed and contained within itself. In order to edit that shape, you need to go to the select tool, double click so that everything else gets grayed out, and that suggests that I can now edit this shape. So here we go. There we go. Shape has been edited. Fantastic. Okay, so before we move on to the next tutorial, one more thing to show you with the move tool. Sometimes you'll draw a shape and it's orientated incorrectly. So what you need to do is you need to move that around. Let me show you how you do that. So click onto the move tool, click onto one of the surfaces, and what you'll find is you get four crosses, one on each edge. If you hover over one of those crosses, you'll find a protractor. Then you click and move the object around to the correct angle, or the angle that you want. Click, and you should be able to move it around. Okay, so there we go. That's the next tutorial. Have a little play around with those tools and see if you can move on.